As a real estate agent here in Tucson, Arizona, I get a lot of questions from buyers moving here from other places about rattlesnakes and safety. There are a lot of things that you need to know about rattlesnakes if you're moving here, especially if you have pets and children, and if you plan to do a lot of hiking, especially during certain times of the year. It may surprise you that you can actually attend rattlesnake training courses with your dog to prepare them for an encounter with a rattlesnake. My family recently went through a rattlesnake training course with my dog, and today I'd like to take you through the course and show you what we learned. Hey everyone, it's Kimberly, your go-to real estate agent in Tucson, Arizona, and today we are talking about rattlesnake training courses offered in Tucson, which can help keep you and your pets and family members safe. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for all things Tucson related, and of course, don't forget to reach out to me if you're ready to buy or sell a Tucson home. All my contact information is in the description below each video on the channel, and you can explore the rest of the channel for over 100 videos about things to do and see and know about Tucson, my hometown. If you have a rattlesnake story that you'd like to share with the world, please throw it down in the comments below, because I'm sure people from other places would love to hear those tales. I actually have an entire video out just about Tucson snakes in general, not just rattlesnakes, but all the other most common snakes you'll see around here. So make sure you're checking that video out after this one. But this video focuses on rattlesnake training and safety. Even though I'm a born and raised Tucsonan, it may surprise you to hear that I have actually never seen a rattlesnake in the wild. I've seen plenty of snakes out in the desert on all my days of hiking and exploring. I've seen plenty of rattlesnakes in enclosures, like at the Desert Museum, but I've never happened upon a rattler out in the wild. But it's not the rattlesnakes that you see that you have to be the most worried about. It's the ones you don't see. Many rattlesnakes hide under rocks and in bushes and tall grass. So if you're out hiking or even just walking around, you really have to watch where your feet are stepping. Be careful when you're walking through the washes and other areas with big rocks or places where rattlesnakes could be hiding. I always recommend that people buying homes in Tucson consider putting a brick wall around their property, or if they have a view fence, I recommend they put up snake wire around the bottom of the fence. It's kind of like chicken wire, and it doesn't do a perfect job, but it does help quite a bit to prevent snakes getting in through those fences. I've met with many pest control people throughout the years, and most of them say that the main way to prevent snakes getting into your yard is to just make sure that there's no food for them to eat in your yard. And since snakes like to eat pack rats and mice and things like that, if you can make sure that you can control that type of population, you should be able to keep the snakes from wanting to get into your yard in the first place. I actually have a snake that lives in my backyard, but it's the type of snake that eats rattlers, so I have no problem with that snake hanging out as much as he wants to. That's just fine with me. And by the way, if you ever get a rattlesnake in your backyard, you can always call the fire department if you live in the city limits, or you can call Rural Metro if you're a subscriber, and they will come out and take care of the snake for you and relocate it to another area. Also, Animal Experts Incorporated will come to you with humane capture and re-release strategies for any unwelcome snakes on your property. But it's really great if you have a pet who can let you know if there's a rattlesnake in the backyard, because that can really help protect you and the animal. There are actually quite a few rattlesnake training courses offered in Tucson, and most of them want your dog to be at least 4 or 5 or 6 months old before they get trained, just because of maturity reasons. We waited until our dog was 6 months old and had him trained with an affiliated company of Animal Experts, which has been featured on National Geographic. Adobe Dog Training did a great job with our family dog. All of their contact information will be in the description below this video, so you can check out their website and their information if you'd like to learn more. I know that the Humane Society also offers rattlesnake training courses, and I know that there are other places that do it too here in Tucson. I also know there are places that will come and do it in your own backyard if that's easier. Typically, you take your dog just 1 or 2 times. Once is the initial visit, and then maybe one more follow-up several months to a year later. When we took our dog, the class cost less than $150, and it only lasted maybe 30 minutes long, and most of that was the instructor explaining what he would be doing and why. It's worth noting that some of these places also offer toad training courses to dogs because we have plenty of Colorado River toads here that are poisonous to dogs as well. We personally chose to have our dog trained for toads at a different time than snakes just because of all the information that comes with one lesson for the day. The rattlesnake trainers will train your dog in 3 different ways: sight, sound, and smell. The first station has a fake snake, so your dog, if not scared, will approach the snake and then be warned that by sight, this is something to stay away from. The second station has the live rattlesnake, so the dog gets to hear the rattle and interact with a real wild rattlesnake. The third station has you approach a rattlesnake scented object for your dog to interact with. By the time our dog was here, he knew to avoid the area. The dog is trained to be afraid of the snake, and its natural tendency after contact will be to protect itself. So once trained, make sure to remember that if your dog hides behind you, maybe they are shielding themselves from a rattlesnake or something else in front of you. By the time you finish up the course, your dog will want nothing to do with rattlesnakes when he or she sees it, hears it, or smells it. In our case, they actually used a live rattlesnake for the training, but they used a snake muzzle to keep the snake's mouth closed so that no humans or animals could be bitten. These rattlesnakes were later going to be released back into the wild, into their natural habitat, so no animals were harmed during this process. The goal of the training is to make your dog more aware around rattlesnakes and make them afraid of being close to them so that they can keep themselves out of danger and possibly even warn you of danger if you're on a hike or even just walking around through the desert. And everyone that I've ever known who put their dogs through snake training saw very effective results. Coincidentally, the very night after we put our dog through this training, my husband was out walking him in our neighborhood and they came upon a baby rattlesnake. And our dog, who is normally a very curious dog with all wild animals, just like a lot of dogs are, he wanted nothing to do with it. This was the first and last time that he has seen a rattlesnake since we went through this training, but it's still nice to know that he had that type of reaction. In the future, we will probably take him back to redo the course maybe in 6 months to a year, just to make sure the information is still sticking. But overall, it was a great experience. I would recommend it for anyone with a dog, especially if you're planning on doing any types of walks outside in the desert or hiking or trails or mountain biking with your pet. I hope you've learned a little bit about rattlesnake training courses here in Tucson, Arizona. There are a lot of places that offer these programs, so feel free to shop around, find the one with the best reviews. But like I mentioned, we will be putting the contact information for the folks we did ours through in the description below this video. Feel free to check out other videos on the channel about snakes and other animals in Tucson, Arizona, and what you need to know about this city, my hometown, before you visit or move here. And of course, reach out to me if you'd like to buy or sell a Tucson home. All my contact information is in the description below each video on this YouTube channel, and don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out the door. I always appreciate you hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next Tucson video.